You used to see it on every cop drama television series. A queue of overall-clad men shuffles through a door into a brightly lit corridor and stands in front of a one-way mirror. And they all have the same expression, wearied, ill-tempered, and annoyed. They face forward and then, heaving a sigh when given the command, altogether turn to one side. The eyewitness surveys this identity parade and fingers the bad guy. Research from recent decades, however, has called into question police lineups. The methods we watched Poirot and Angela Lansbury, God rest her soul, use to conduct their investigations were flawed. Real life has substantiated this. DNA evidence has cleared innocent people of convictions based on misidentifications. The trouble with lineups has to do with what witnesses are asked. If they're not careful, investigators can inadvertently invite crime victims and eyewitnesses to pick out the person who looks most like the perpetrator from the choices they're given, encouraging people to use their judgment, not their memories. On this All Saints' Day, we identify the heroes of the Christian faith, those with an exceptional degree of blessedness. We remember and commemorate them, think of their marvelous deeds, and consider their faith, and hope to learn something from them about how to live. But what if we used our judgment instead of our memories to remember these saints? Where we get our ideas of holiness come from a lot of places, but possibly no more conspicuously for Christians than from Scripture. The Bible describes the Lord blessing the righteous, surrounding them with favor. Believers who live in holiness receive God's blessings. Success is a sign of divine approval because all things work together for those who love God. But it's not just the Bible that paints this kind of picture of those whom God blesses. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to be able to pick out people who were blessed and those who aren't. People who were blessed drive Ferraris, not Fiats. They are winning, not losing. Living in a cardboard box on the street isn't an indication that you're supernaturally blessed. In fact, it's probably an indication of just the opposite. Those who succeed are providential. They're promoted above others, lifted up. After all, they are chosen people, and humankind venerates those who flourish. However, today's gospel points toward a different measurement system for determining God's favor. Blessed are the poor, says Jesus. Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Those weeping now, those worried about the grocery shop, those struggling with their health, all the people everybody else disparages are going to receive the greatest rewards in heaven. And it's not who you might think. The signs of blessedness don't point toward the greatest champions. They point toward the losers. If human beings relied on their discernment, their own judgment, the world would continuously choose the wrong saints. Just like a poorly constructed police lineup, we'd be looking for someone that matches the criteria we imagine a saint has. And even though we may have heard the stories of the saints and about their lives, our memories are vulnerable to change. The world is constantly distorting them, reinforcing a mistaken idea about righteousness. And with each corroboration of that inaccuracy, we forget what true godliness is. Remember the pattern of our faith? An itinerant preacher, born in a stable, condemned to die and then publicly executed? Remember the others, the saints who toiled, who were laughed at, who were outcasts? And remember Jesus telling folk in today's gospel the qualities of the blessed. God's preachers and witnesses have always been treated poorly, he says. Now, you came to church, and on this day of All Saints, you expected to see some saints. This place is full of them. But if you've come here thinking that you'll find people who've got it all together, whose lives are without any problems, you've misremembered what a saint is. You, broken ones, are holy. Yes. You who wonder what the heck's going on right now, you are holy. You who feel cut down and worn out, you are God's holy ones. Holiness is found in those who are troubled by the world and its ways, not the ones who are untouched or unmoved by it. If you're going from strength to strength, finding you have not a care in the world, you've not got the marks of sainthood. Don't confuse success with sacredness, because the two of them have nothing to do with each other. The people of God, those whom God blesses, are struggling. God's chosen ones experience tough times. Remember what God has called blessed. The saints of God are real people like you, with real problems. Those are the saints of God.